Fibramine, proud sponsors of the really useful health show, The Joints Series. Use it or lose it.
If you think your diet may be making you ache, you may well be right. A survey conducted by the Natural Health Advisory Service on over 1,200 women who were aged between 35 and 65 found that the women not protecting their health by following a good diet and exercise were actually suffering as a result. Despite the barrage of good advice coming from the media, women didn't seem to be heeding the messages according to the survey. And now that we're living till 81 on average, it's really important, if you want to live those extra years in good health, that you clean up your act. The survey found that if women carried on the way they were going, the last few years of their lives would be lived in misery, not feeling healthy or well in any way. Only 25% of the sample in the survey were having 5 servings of fruit and veg a day. There was a relationship between poor energy levels and low levels of oily fish. So in other words, people who weren't having much in the way of oily fish like salmon, herring, mackerel, pilchards and sardines didn't feel so well. Over 70% of the sample were doing less than 1 session of exercise a week, and there was a bigger incidence in that group of women who experienced migraine, irritable bowel syndrome, anxiety and depression. In the group of people who were admittedly a minority, who were having lots of oily fish, eating lots of fruit and vegetables and salad, they had much more flexible joints, much more energy, and higher libido. Some researchers in Oslo in Norway decided to take a look in the gut. And they found that people with arthritis had higher levels of antibodies in their gut to certain foods like pork, codfish, wheat, eggs and milk than people who didn't have rheumatoid arthritis. If you do find that foods are causing your symptoms to worsen, then just stay off them for a little while, and then over time you can gradually reintroduce them one by one, leaving a week apart, to see whether the symptoms return or not. The difficulty with following an exclusion diet is that it's sometimes very difficult to tell whether you're having a reaction, even if you're keeping a daily diary. Sometimes it's easier because you have a fast reaction, but other times it can take days or weeks to see a difference in your symptoms. If you're suffering with aches and pains and you'd like to take the guesswork out of it, you may like to try a new home test kit. It's called the Food Detective, and it's made by the company that actually do the laboratory tests for all the different labs in different countries around the world. But in this case, you can do the test at home and you get the results in 40 minutes. It's very simple to do. You just have to prick your finger and you mix a little bit of blood with the fluid in the test kit, and after that it's a bit like a pregnancy test. It tests for 59 different foods and you get a reaction depending on whether you're producing antibodies to any of the foods. And at least that way you know what you should be avoiding to start with. And research on the Food Detective showed that 70% of the testers who eliminated foods from their diets actually experienced improved well-being. If you do have a reaction to foods, the chances are you might be experiencing some other unwanted symptoms too, and those can vary from mild to chronic. And there are a wide variety of problems, varying from irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, migraine headaches, skin problems, aches and pains, as well as arthritis. So as an added bonus of sorting out the inflammation in the joints, you may also find that your general health improves as well. It's quite a lot to take on board if you haven't thought about this before, and so you may actually have some questions. If you want to come to the website, you can actually come and ask the questions and come and join some of our telephone workshops so you can listen to other people asking their questions too. And in the next show, I'm going to be concentrating on how you can reduce your excess baggage, so do join me.
Lubramine, proud sponsors of the really useful health show, The Joint Series. Use it or lose it.